or call 1-800-LANZESS.
Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM, The Ticket. This is Bronco Focus with the voice of Boise State Athletics, Bob Behler.
Yes, welcome our video audience to the program here. Prater in the ballgame, KTIK, The Ticket. This now streaming on the KTIK and Bronco Nation News video channel. So appreciate everybody. You can see the view behind us. Radio audience, just take our word for it. It's spectacular here at Circa Stadium Swim. We're now joined by play-by-play broadcaster Bob Behler. With Bob, fresh, we needed fresh storylines. Welcome, and hope you traveled safe.
I did, but we got out of Boise about an hour late. We were told that we were delayed in Boise because they had to stop traffic into Vegas because of Air Force 2.
Wow, okay. The life and travels of Bob Behler.
And the reason why Air Force 2 is here is because Steve Kerr invited Kamala Harris to come talk to the team at practice day. She is spending the afternoon with Team USA basketball. She is not my connection for our 4 tickets tomorrow night.
Okay, glad
She might have been able to get them for us.
I just lost her cell number a couple weeks ago.
I think she'll probably be flying out after practice tonight. But, Bob, yeah, we want fresh storylines.
All right, let's get ready. I got 4 of them.
Number one.
I'm going to start with Boise State storylines, and then we're going to move out a little bit more global as we move to the bottom of the 4. I want to know what's different about this year. Every year we've come down here to Las Vegas for both the WAC and the Mountain West. Boise State has been the favorite. They have been picked, and I expect them to be picked tomorrow. But I want to find out from the Boise State guys that are going to be here tomorrow, the players, what the vibe is like. I mean, this is a team that, if you look at it, everything is back and really set up other than who's going to be the quarterback. You've got 2 guys that look good, but it's not like somebody is set there. So I want to see what the vibe looks like, guys. I want to get the feel of, last year didn't start that well, where this year you got to get out of the box a little bit faster, especially if you want to be in line for the CFP.
Yeah, Bob, it's going to be a key factor on that. And 2-0, 1-1, wherever you start, and just kind of what the makeup of this team is going to be. That's a good one to start us off. All right, Bob, we're getting fresh.
Number two.
Question that I'm going to ask each of the coaches on Thursday. Who's going to be this year's UNLV? And I'm going to qualify it. Not just who's going to come in second to Boise State, but who is going to be the team that's going to challenge for the spot that had a losing record last year? I have my team that I think could be that team, and I think it's Colorado State. They've got a returning coach in Jay Norvell. They've got a returning starting quarterback. Only 2 other teams in the league have returning starting quarterbacks. They've got one of the most explosive offensive players in the league in Torrey Horton. They have 6 defensive starters back, including 2 guys that have been part of the all-conference team in the secondary. Now, their schedule's tough. They start at Texas, then there's a game, and then another one at home against Colorado, a game they lost last year in overtime. But I want to know who the coaches think might be the team that will be the surprise. We'll see who they give me.
I understand where you're coming from that one, Bob. But, I can't do that for Colorado State. I had Colorado State 7th in my media poll. They'll come out in the morning at 8 o'clock, and I know that that's more personal biased. I understand the makeup they have. I understand the recipe that they have. I'm kind of expecting maybe Hawaii to be the surprise team for me. Ball game, what do you got?
I picked Hawaii to finish last in my Mount West media poll. So I do like the fact that Colorado State dodges Boise State.
Yeah.
That is a big advantage in my opinion. But I think, guys, and I don't know if Sean Lewis, San Diego State. I'll throw that dog in the fight as well. Maybe he pops a little bit for a first-year guy. Are you saying who is this year's UNLV?
But you say that, dodging Boise State, in addition to the team you were mentioning that dodges Boise State, was
Colorado State.
But also, you got to think Air Force and Fresno dodge him as well.
Number three. I
like taking a look at body language, players and coaches. Who seems confident? Who seems like they're under control. We've got so many new head coaches, so I think it's going to be fascinating to see how they handle and navigate media day. There'll be 7 new ones. 3 have never been to a media day as a head coach: Spencer Danielson, Jay Sawvell, and Nate Dreiling, who recently was promoted to interim head coach at Utah State. Now, there's 4 guys that have had it. Ken Niumatalolo and Bronco Mendenhall have been to a number of them. Sean Lewis and Jeff Choate have had some time as head coach. And then I want to watch how the players are going to carry themselves, what they're going to say about the opponents. Sometimes you come to these things and you can tell that the teams don't know the other teams in the league. The most interesting players, I think, to converse with tomorrow for me are Torrey Horton, the receiver at Colorado State, Ricky White at UNLV. I want to ask him about their 2 FCS quarterbacks that are going to vie for their starting job, and the Utah State guys. Just what's going on? What does the feel like having a new coach?
Yeah, Bob, there's a lot of storylines in the league this year. And can you imagine, what Coach Dreiling thought? It does a pretty good job as the DC at New Mexico State, and all of a sudden, he takes this job at Utah State. Thinks he's moving up from Conference USA to the Mountain West. Great. And all of a sudden, a couple months later, he's running the program. And that, to me, a lot of time, their over/under win total, by the way, Utah State, 5. I don't know if they're going to go 6-6 and get over there. I like the under.
Was that adjusted since the coaching change?
No.
Is that what you saw right now?
Yeah,
today?
that was what I saw today.
One thing that I'm curious about in terms of the body language is how the Mountain West media is going to embrace or describe or talk about Spencer Danielson. Spencer Danielson is weird. He's different. He's unique. And sometimes the media doesn't like weird, different, and unique. And when he gets up there and does the things that we've heard him say for the last 6 to 8 months in Boise, Idaho, and he says it to a new audience, I can't wait to see how they react and what they say on social media.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4.
I've given you things about the players and the coaches. I want to listen to the commissioner's address tomorrow morning. And to me, the big question is what's going to happen with Oregon State and Washington State. Probably next year at this time, we'll have a pretty good idea because Oregon State and Washington State have 2 years to get their act together. This is what could happen to them. They could join the Mountain West. They could reform the pack and bring some teams in with them. They could try to join a P4 if get invited, and I guess, even though it's probably not a popular decision, they could go independent as well. I think branding is key. How do the ratings this year for the CW translate for Washington State and Oregon State? Do they get anything, or is it just a blip? Oregon State's schedule, 7 Mountain West games, Washington State, Cal, and they've got Oregon and Purdue. Washington State has 8 Mountain West games plus Oregon State, and they have games with Washington and Texas Tech. Athlon projects they rate every team from 1 to 130, however many teams there are, and they have Washington State and Oregon State pretty much in the middle in the 80s. They are ahead of 7 teams in the Mountain West, and they are behind 5 teams. I wonder if how those 2 teams do on the field will have any bearing in whether Washington State or Oregon State gets in any kind of a Power 4 conference or what happens with the Mountain West, because I'm not so sure those teams are going to do very well.
He's Bob Behler. He's your favorite play-by-play broadcaster. He's going to be interviewing all coaches, most of the players, and we'll have all that access for it over the next 2 days. Going to be big time. Bob, glad you traveled safely down here, and appreciate the heads up today.
Thanks, guys.
It's Bob Behler. That's Bronco Focus. Keep those cameras on. Keep those ears to your radio. BNN Report coming up. BJ Rains. Let's get his thoughts on Mountain West Media Days. Coming up, BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News. Is KTIK The Ticket.
Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM. The Ticket.
Summer is here, and with it, the heat. Let the expert team at Shadeworks transform your uninviting space into your own personal outdoor retreat. Shadeworks wood-grained embossed patio covers and pergolas let you enjoy year-round outdoor living, even on the hottest of summer days. Say goodbye to fading, warping, and cracking. It's the beauty of wood without the high-maintenance hassle. Add a stunning focal point to your backyard with a customized patio cover or pergola from Shadeworks today. Visit shadeworks.com for more.
Kids can be so impatient, especially when it's snack time. Nothing causes a meltdown quite like a starving little one in need. So when time is of the essence and you need s'mores stat, why bother with the hassle of starting a fire? You could be scarfing down the sweet, chocolatey meltiness within minutes with just the flip of a switch when you convert to a natural gas fire pit. Let Drake Mechanical experts install a natural gas fire pit in your yard today so you can enjoy camp food, delicious snacks, and quality family time year-round. Hi, Rebecca Drake here. For over 100 years, our family at Drake Mechanical has been helping the Treasure Valley with their plumbing, air conditioning, and natural gas needs. We price by the job and not by the hour, so you always know what to expect. So call 208-362-6200 or visit us online at drakemechanical.com and let my family take care of your family. And remember, natural gas, it's worth asking for.
Just look for the guys in the big yellow trucks.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Steelers cornerback Cameron Sutton has been suspended for 8 games without pay for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Sutton entered a pre-trial diversion program in April to resolve a domestic violence case. He signed with Pittsburgh in early June after his release from the Lions. Free agent safety Tashawn Gibson accepted his 6-game suspension for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing policy and plans to play a 13th season upon completing the suspension. The safety is eligible to sign with the team and participate in all preseason activities, including preseason games. And after playing in only 10 games in 2023, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow says fans have forgotten how good he is and vows to change that this season. Burrow telling Pardon My Take, quote, "I'm going to give people something to talk about this year. I'm excited about it." This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
From the RowPaint.com studio, 1350 AM KTIK Nampa, Boise on 95.3 FM and always streaming on our new and improved KTIK app. The Treasure Valley's original sports station, Sports Radio The Ticket.
A Cumulus media station.
Get in, sit down, and hang on.
It's about to get crazy. It's about to go down.
This is Idaho Sports Talk with Prater and the Ball Game.
It's about to get crazy. It's gonna be loud. This is our home. We do what we wanna. We'll pull the roof out. Everybody's coming. It's about to get crazy.
On Sports Radio 95.3 FM and 1350 AM, The Ticket.
Yes, I will give Brent Musburger another shout out. You are looking and listening live from Circa Stadia Swim, Cabana number John Elway, Cabana number 7, Idaho Sports Talk, Bronco Nation News. This is our BNN report, and you're going to get one of these today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Joined now by BJ Rains. BJ, here we are, another year, another event, and another large amount of storylines for Boise State football.
Yeah, first of all, just thank you guys for coming down. This has been a lot of fun, and we even had a special guest show up in the cabana. So we're having a lot of fun here and excited to be here for the next couple of days, and have no doubt we're going to kick some butt with all the coverage. And, it's just I was up there already as you guys were, seeing the setup and everything for tomorrow and getting some of the stuff set up. And it's luckily a little more cooler inside than it is out here. But happy to be here. Appreciate you guys being here as well and wanting to do this. And it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. What's that one thing for you? I asked Prater earlier. Bob came with, some fresh storylines. You caught his last segment. Is there that one thing that's right in that head of yours?
Well, I mean, I do think who's second is interesting, but I think the whole Oregon State, Washington State thing that we've talked about, I forget what show, my show, your show, whatever, but I just think that's an interesting one for me is Oregon State, Washington State. What's their long-term future with this league? And is it still going to be the Mountain West with them joining? Are they going to all reverse into the Pac-12 and keep that brand? I mean, I still think that's a big storyline in the next year or two to see play out. Do they go try to add, Memphis and Tulane and South Florida and make some big, huge super group of 5 conference? Very curious how that plays out, because I do think that's an interesting storyline that I think is kind of went away for a little while that I think is still a pretty big deal.
Well, it's going to continue to be a big deal. We're going to get into this football season, and hopefully football becomes the storyline, but absolutely, starting January 1st, it's going to be a big storyline. Let's dive into that just a little bit more. Bob laid out 4 scenarios, and they're all real. I'm going to eliminate one. There's no way in hell that the Pac-2 is going to mold its way into the Mountain West.
Yep.
That's a $200 million decision that it will go very, very bad, very, very fast. I don't see that happening whatsoever. As Bob alluded to, I also don't see independence happening. That's ridiculous, and that's crazy. Could they reverse merger? I think that that's the biggest thing that's going to happen. I think that the 2 Pac-2 teams are going to reverse merger. But here's the question. Do they take all 12 Mountain West teams, or does Gloria Navarez, Gangster Gloria, as Johnny labeled her, Gangster Gloria, have the guts to tell 2 or 3 deadbeats, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone? And are there teams like in the American that have the guts to join that conference? To me, that's the biggest question. Does she have the guts to kick somebody out and chase somebody else? Do you believe that?
Well, isn't there something in the contract, though? I think that they have to take all, or there's some penalty if they don't take them all. I mean, there's a deadline with all that stuff.
Exactly. The deadline and the negotiation takes care of all that if you do it the right way.
Yeah, but I know when they agreed to have Oregon State, Washington State play these non-conference games as part of the league, there was something to the effect of they had to take everybody or none if they were going to negotiate for that. So
I don't think Gloria Navarez has the guts. I don't think the Gangster has the guts to kick out,
to boot somebody,
New Mexico or San Jose
Wyoming
or Wyoming or whatever.
Boot them out. Yep.
Yeah,
I think we're looking at a 14-team league, and they're going to call it the Mountain Pack or the Pack Mountain.
But would there be any? And I guess would there be any appetite to go bigger than that and add in a South Florida and a Memphis and make it the by far the top group of 5 conference? I mean, I don't know, probably not. But I'm just saying that would be a scenario out there, I guess. And maybe that'd be more likely if they do get rid of a New Mexico or a San Jose or a Wyoming. Maybe you go get 4 teams from that other conference. I don't know, but I mean, I think some people don't realize how big of a deal it was. The Mountain West got rid of a conference game and went to 7 conference games to take their cash and bring them. Which let's be honest, the cash was the big part of that.
Absolutely.
But also, that was a significant thing they did to get rid of a conference game, let these teams play one of the, every team gets a game against one of them. So they're obviously, wanting them to be part of this somehow. And I think they will be long term. I just wonder what scenario that's going to look at and what tomorrow Gloria is going to say about it. Because last year, all it was San Diego State. I think it was right about now, the night before it started, they announced that they had a deal with San Diego State to keep them happy and that they can stay. And so that was the big talk last year. I think tomorrow that's going to be it. Who's going to be second is another one for me as well, though.
Gosh, BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News Report here live from Circa. You see our video cameras. We got great stuff going on behind us. Having a lot of fun on Idaho Sports Talk today, BJ. Odds. And by the way, I'm with you real quick. I mean, asking the Mountain West to play 7 conference games, I think is a big ask, and the Mountain West did it. Obviously, it came with the price tag, too. Who knows if the Mountain West is going to want to continue how much longer being a 7 conference game league. That's the only one in America right now, guys.
You're right. And it is a little weird, but I don't think it's anything worse than weird. I don't think it's that big a deal for 1 year. And if they have to go 2 years to lose 1 conference game, that doesn't bother me one bit.
No, you do lose a lot of these matchups, Johnny. I know you have the research you did. And earlier in the show, you mentioned Johnny and research, and I did have to take a double take to make sure that was the case. But he did do
That's one thing I've never criticized Johnny before. I'm going to stand up for him. He always comes with homework.
Yep, he did. And he has a whole whole thing of which teams play and don't play in the Mountain West. And the ones they don't play, it's a pretty big number, which obviously would have been smaller if everybody had another conference game. So you are going to have some teams that aren't going to play 2 or 3 of the other top teams in the league this year.
Every Mountain West team dodges 4 Mountain West teams.
But 2 or 3 of them could be contenders, is
Absolutely,
what I'm saying.
for
And so,
Boise State, they've dodged Air Force and Fresno, probably their 2 stiffest competition.
Well, we have that same argument every year when they play 8 because somebody's always missing somebody.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
go ahead and add a second or third team in there. It's a talking point, but I don't think it's that big a deal. As a matter of fact, in a CFP era, it might be okay. It might be okay for the Mountain West to less cannibalize each other.
Good point. BJ, what about some of these odds we wanted to get to? You got the paper in front of you.
I was wondering first. I know you guys are going to talk about it later, so I'm not trying to steal your segment. But the Jonah Dalmas kick. When I announced that yesterday, there were a lot of fans saying, "Circa, get us odds on this kick." Prater, I don't know if you've seen what they're going to do, but he's literally going to be on that side of the pool and kick it 65 yards all the way across Stadium Swim to the other side of the pool, where they have purchased some kids field goal posts that they're going to put up off Amazon right over there on the side, and basically you could be having a cocktail in the pool and footballs are going to go flying over your head as Joe Dalmas tries to nail a 65-yarder over a pool. Any odds for that? I mean, is that Jonah Dalmas 65 yards with a crowd? We going? That's got to be. You got to be an underdog, right? Is that plus 150?
Does the ball travel better in the heat?
No, you can't go. He can't go 65 in this heat. There's no way.
Our special guest says he's going to make it. I don't know.
Well, because he's a positive coach with a big fat smile on his
That's got to be what, plus 160? What do you think for a 60?
Well, I need to know the width of these Amazon kids field goals.
They said they're going to be not as high, but they will be fairly close to regulation width.
Okay, well that's
fairly close.
Then he's going to make it within 5 tries.
Do you know what time this is happening
They're
yet?
still ironing out those details. We need to make sure we're out there. We're going to try to air it, though.
Yep, it's going to air.
They might have me emceeing this thing on the mic, Prater. It's going to be a fun. Hey, you text the owner and something happens, and that's going to be pretty cool tomorrow. But odds, the playoff odds are interesting to me. That's what I was looking at. Boise State is plus 400 to make the college football playoff. Just yes or no. You take a yes, plus 400. Liberty, they've got a horrible schedule. We've talked about it. They play absolutely nobody, but they're plus 275. And I think the only way that Liberty gets in, obviously, is if they go undefeated.
But if they go undefeated, I think they're 100% in. Unless there's another undefeated.
If Boise State's one loss is Oregon, and they're 11-1.
Depends on how good the Oregon loss was. The committee's going to love an undefeated team. They've done it before. And unfortunately, I think Liberty's going to have to lose a game.
We just saw that with Liberty, and they got trounced by Oregon. It didn't go very well last year.
I don't think the committee cares.
Yeah, I don't know. They're plus 275. So maybe if you think they're going undefeated, that's probably going to be it. But I think Boise State at plus 400, it was a little interesting to me right there as the second top team. But only 2 Mountain West teams only on the list, at least that you can bet right now for non-Power 5s, at least on the list we're looking at. Fresno State's plus 1,500. Boise State is plus 400. So I thought those were interesting to me. And then the Mountain West Championship odds, Boise State, obviously plus 135. We were talking about this morning, Prater. I don't think that's that great of a bet. You only get plus 135 on Boise State to win the Mountain West Championship.
They're huge favorites.
The team that you need to bet, because you picked them second, UNLV is plus 2,000. Plus 2,000. No one's believing here at Circa. And as you guys know, here at Circa too, sometimes the local teams get bet or even worse odds because they know everyone's going to bet on them. And UNLV is plus 2,000. They've got like the fifth or sixth best odds here.
That's great value, and I'm very excited, and I'm salivating, and I don't know if it's about the odds or the heat, but there's a reason why I stopped gambling on football 2 years ago. So I'm just going to have to leave that one alone.
Yeah, I don't know, man. They've got Wyoming as better odds than UNLV. You wouldn't think that, would you?
Yeah, Wyoming's always going to be just average.
Yeah. BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News, BNN report here at Circa Stadium Swim. All right, BJ, there's that.
Plus 800, by the way, for Kansas to make the playoff. That's a bet I actually think I have a chance at.
Throw in
plus 800. Come on.
Let him throw in his Kansas Jayhawk thing there, BJ. Jeremiah Dickey. Prater, do you have somewhere you wanted to go to?
Let's do it.
Jeremiah Dickey. We're putting an APB out on JD tonight. Big 12 media days. A lot going around there. Feels to me like there's just this dark cloud, and I don't know where it's going to go. And if it comes over Boise State's head, it means JD's going to find another opportunity. What can you tell us here? What are your thoughts or where we are right now? Still no news, I guess, is good news.
Well, I was going to say, Prater, we saw that Jeremiah Dickey was on a plane. We weren't I guess Bob has confirmed that was the right plane, but he could have been coming from Houston. Who knows? I didn't know where the plane was. We didn't. If you want to get thinking negative there, but yeah, he is here, and he keeps retweeting Boise State stuff. He keeps talking about Boise State. He's here at Mountain West Media Days. I've heard nothing to believe that they're not still trying to do this. I know Marlene Tromp is actually out of the country right now. They're doing some work, and it's a work related trip down to the. Overseas, so she is I'm sure still working, talking, doing things, but it's not like she can just have a face-to-face conversation with Jeremiah Dickey right now. So I think they're trying to get something done. They want to keep him. Obviously, they need to keep him, and I guess no news is probably still good news at this point. But they got to get. There has to be news in terms of a contract extension here at some point.
I have zero faith in Marlene Tromp and her office to get this done. There's no doubt that they're talking in the background. That they're coming up with some details and they're trying to make this happen. And Jeremiah Dickey, I think he's going to have to make a decision based on if he gets this offer. But I don't think anything that Boise State does, I don't have faith in anything that Boise State does, that whatever they do is going to be able to keep him here. The only reason he's going to be able to stay here is if Houston doesn't come to fruition. I firmly believe that. I have zero trust in Marlene Tromp in her office right now.
And it ain't going to come down to money, because if it comes down to money, he's gone probably. And if it's 100% money and Houston does offer me, I don't think we're thinking. If you were saying when your guy from the Houston Chronicle came on, so they're going to offer him $800,000 to $1 million, Boise State's not reaching that, are they?
No, and money. I don't think money will be the main thing in this.
I'm not saying it will either. I'm just saying if it is a money for money, it's kind of like an Ashton Genty staying for $300,000. If it was about money, he wouldn't be at Boise State this year. I mean, it is what it is.
At Boise State, I think the ceiling is $600,000. The ceiling at Houston is probably $800,000 to $1.2.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, and you're offering $1 million, and the best they do here is $550,000 or $600,000, I mean, that's going to be a conversation you got to have. But you know what? He likes it here. He's happy. I mean, you'll know more than I do on this Prater, but you got better sources than me on this. But I think they're trying to get something done, and as we've said, it would be a colossal failure if they don't.
If you're looking for inspiration about Jeremiah Dickey staying at Boise, just look at the Danny Hurley and the Lakers situation. Money wasn't a factor there. It was about the culture back home. It was about not getting the job done back home, and it was personal family decisions about sticking around and doing what's right when you're not at work 70, 88, 90 hours a week. So if Danny Hurley can pull this off and deny $20 to $30 million from the Lakers to stay status quo and ultimately think that things did work out, and we saw Danny Hurley's new numbers this week, they did work out. That's the scenario you're looking at, and I think that that's possible. But again, I have no faith in Marlene Tromp.
And I still think you said, hey, if he's their top choice, like, I mean, if you're Houston, like, I mean, maybe we're in this box because all we do is see him here in Boise, but why wouldn't he be? I mean, they must have some heck of a candidates if they end up going with somebody else.
Joseph Duarte told us, the Houston Chronicle reporter, when this broke, that there was one guy in the Midwest who probably would be candidate A. I can't remember his name because of his connections to Houston.
He was at Drake or Toledo or somewhere.
And her connections to Reno Couture, who's the president at the University of Houston. But Jeremiah Dickey, if he's not number 2, he's certainly 1A.
Has to be.
What's your gut telling you?
I think he stays.
I do too.
I do too,
and I think I'm not going to give Marlene Tromp a single ounce of credit.
He's not going to get what he deserves either. Probably
he's going to have to make a sacrifice to be here. And you know what? Jeremiah Dickey can be here for 3 years, get the job done, pat himself on the back, and fly away and be just fine in life.
And hope that, a better opportunity than possibly Houston is on the horizon 3, 4, 5 years down the road. There's a possibility if he does ever want to jump, maybe, I respect that too. Maybe for some people, Houston that's not the right place to jump. Remember all the jobs Chris Peterson didn't go to, and every year the whole storyline was, where's Coach Pete going to go? Who wants him? And he never went anywhere until the Washington job popped open. Maybe Jeremiah Dickey has that job, and right now Boise's a better job until that job opens. And then if it does, we'll see what happens from that. I don't know. But I kind of have a feeling, God, Boise State just, these dark rain clouds I talk about, they never come over the program. The Genty dark rain cloud, the coaching dark rain cloud, the quarterback rain cloud, now the JD rain cloud. They all just go away. They never end up raining on this fan base. Feels like one of these times I'm like, okay, they're going to lose something big here. And if this happens before the season, too, that would be an interesting way to start the season without JD.
He's staying here, so hopefully we can bump into him at the blackjack table or something and get all the info. And then I know Thursday, you guys, and then BNN also, we're going to get him. And I'll be very curious. He hasn't done a public interview, I don't think, since this has come up. So be very curious to hear what he's willing to say or not say about all this.
I reached out a couple of different times looking for a public comment, and he says he says every time my name comes up, it's a testament to what we're doing at Boise State as a team, and I don't talk about stuff like that in public. So he doesn't even want to put out a public statement. I think he's laying low, doing business as usual.
Do you think he'll say anything Thursday about it?
We'll ask him the questions, and he'll say, every time my name comes up, it's a testament to what we're doing at Boise, and I'm proud of my team at Boise State.
All right, BJ, before we get you out of here, just let's pump this up a little more. 8 straight hours of Boise State and Mountain West coverage starting on Wednesday, all day Thursday.
I really think we should just hand the mic. We should hand the mic to the special guest and see if any listeners that can't see him, how long it takes to figure out who it is. Because
it'll take them 5 seconds.
Yeah, we're really excited. We got you guys down here. We got our friend Mike Sanford down here as well.
There he is,
and we're super excited. So 10 a.m. tomorrow back in Boise, 10 to 3. We'll go 5 hours. I don't know what we'll have the best lead-in show you guys have ever had. 10 to 3, and then you guys will go 3 to 6, and we got all kinds of interviews. 4 or 5 players. You guys are all going to come by. Jay's going to come by. Sanford's going to help me interview some of the players and coaches.
That's going to be terrific.
Yeah. He thinks he can get Jeff Choate to really open up a little bit. What do you
really?
Well, Jeff Choate and Mike Prater are 0 for 2 this offseason when it comes to interview requests. So maybe I need a little Mike Sanford love. I need some Mike Sanford muscle to make this happen.
Yeah, so 5 hours tomorrow, 5 hours Thursday. We'll start at 10 a.m. both days, and it'll be 8 straight hours with your show, Bronco Nation News, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter accounts, and go subscribe if you can, man. We could use your monthly subscription here to help cover all these expenses. But thank you guys for coming down. Thanks to everybody that's supported BNN already. And this is our 3rd media days with the live shows here, and we're excited. The first year we did it, I'll never forget. We were half the way. Speaking of Jeremiah Dickey, me and Jay Tuster, 10 minutes into an interview with Jeremiah Dickey, and I realized we're on mute. So I mean, we've had we've had plenty of issues. Somehow I think we pulled these 2 segments off somehow without a hitch here. So excited for it. We'll see what goes wrong tomorrow, but happy to be down here.
By the way, I put a ribeye on room service last night. Am I supposed to put that on your room or mine?
Well, Johnny did that last year. He told me the next morning, yeah, by the way, room service was okay, right? Yeah, so we'll see. Depends how much.
Us a meal.
Well, I'm doing that tonight. We'll see how much tonight's bill is, and we'll see what's left over. But no, excited to have you guys down here and hang out, and it's going to be fun but long next couple days.
Going to be terrific. Thanks, BJ. Good stuff. And that is why you listen and watch Idaho Sports Talk and Bronco Nation News. Give us a quick one. We're back at Circa Stadium Swim. It's Prater on the ball game. It's KTIK. It's Idaho Sports Talk.